Motivation is an illusion created by the self-help industry to keep you buying their books. And guess what? It's working. You're caught in an endless loop of motivational seminars and inspirational quotes, convinced that your next burst of enthusiasm will finally lead to success. But here's the kicker: it won't. Society loves to romanticize motivation. It's like the magical unicorn of personal development. People believe that if they can just harness enough of this mythical energy, they'll transform into superhumans capable of achieving anything. Think about how many motivational speakers have built entire empires on the promise of unlocking your hidden potential. There's Tony Robbins, who makes a living yelling at people until they feel inspired enough to walk on hot coals. Or the countless Instagram influencers who post daily motivational content, encouraging you to rise and grind like a caffeinated squirrel on a treadmill. Everyone's convinced that motivation is the secret sauce to success, the key ingredient that separates the doers from the dreamers. Need to lose weight? Just get motivated. Want to start a business? Motivation is the answer. Struggling to write that novel? Motivation, my friend, is the quill you need. Society treats motivation like it's a permanent state, something you can acquire and maintain with the right mindset or enough positive affirmations. But what if motivation is nothing more than a fleeting emotion, as reliable as a politician's promise? What if, instead of chasing this elusive feeling, you focused on something far more sustainable and, dare I say, boring? Let's dive into the science of motivation, shall we? Studies show that motivation is significantly influenced by external factors and is often short-lived. A 2010 study published in Psychological Science found that people who relied solely on motivation to achieve their goals often fell short. The research indicated that motivation spikes initially but tends to dwindle over time, especially when faced with obstacles. It's like setting off fireworks. Spectacular at first, but eventually, you're left with smoke and silence. Consider those New Year's resolutions that everyone is so excited about. According to research from the University of Scranton, only 8% of people actually achieve their New Year's goals. The reason? They rely on initial motivation rather than consistent action. Motivation is that burst of energy that gets you out of bed on January 1st, but it's nowhere to be found by February 1st when it's cold, dark, and Netflix is calling. In contrast, habits and systems provide a framework that doesn't rely on motivation. They're the sturdy, albeit less glamorous, workhorses pulling the cart long after motivation has taken a nap. You don't need motivation to brush your teeth every morning. It's a habit, an automatic response that's part of your daily routine. Let's talk about Sarah, a real-life case study of motivation's fleeting nature. Sarah was a graphic designer who wanted to transition into a full-time artist. Every January, she would set the same resolution: paint every day. And every year, like clockwork, she would start with unparalleled enthusiasm. Her first paintings would be vibrant, full of life, and shared widely on social media. But by March, her motivation waned. The daily grind of her day job, the pressure to keep up with social media, and the lack of immediate success chipped away at her resolve. By June, her brushes gathered dust. It wasn't until she read James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, that she realized the flaw in her approach. She shifted from relying on motivation to establishing a routine. Instead of paint every day, her new goal was to paint for 10 minutes after dinner. It was a small change, but it was sustainable. By the end of that year, she had completed more paintings than in the past 5 years combined. Sarah's transformation highlights a critical truth. Motivation is an unreliable muse, but habits are the steady metronome of progress. Let's dig deeper with some hard data. A survey conducted by the Society for Human Resource Management revealed that 70% of employees felt disengaged at work, primarily because they relied on intermittent motivation. This disengagement translates to a loss of productivity costing companies up to $550 billion annually in the US alone. That's a staggering amount of inefficiency, all because people are waiting around for motivation to strike like lightning. But here's the kicker. Studies show that creating structured goals and systems leads to higher productivity and satisfaction. The Harvard Business Review reported that people who set specific, actionable goals were 10 times more likely to succeed than those who relied on vague motivational aspirations. The data doesn't lie. Motivation is like a sugar rush, intense yet temporary. It's the systems and habits, the broccoli and brown rice of success, that truly nourish long-term achievement. So while you're busy searching for motivation, remember that the solution might just be a well-organized to-do list or a daily routine that doesn't require a pep talk. Let's delve into the psychological reasons why our brains are so enamored with motivation. It all boils down to the dopamine reward system. When you feel motivated, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter. It's like getting a pat on the back from your own brain. This is why motivational content is so addictive. It gives you a quick hit of dopamine, making you feel like you're on the verge of transforming your life. But the problem is, this dopamine boost doesn't last. It's akin to eating a candy bar when you're starving, satisfying for a moment, but not a substitute for a meal. Your brain craves the thrill of motivation, but it doesn't know how to sustain it. This is where habits come in. Habits create neural pathways that don't rely on the dopamine spikes of motivation. They're the slow, steady drip of progress, building resilience and discipline without the roller coaster of highs and lows. So, your brain's obsession with motivation is just a trick, and like any good magic trick, once you know how it works, the illusion is shattered. So, how do you escape the motivation trap? Here are 4 practical steps you can take. First, start small. Set tiny, manageable goals. Instead of saying you'll run a marathon, commit to a 10-minute walk every day. Second, build routines, not resolutions. Turn tasks into habits by attaching them to existing routines. Brush your teeth, then write a paragraph. Third, track your progress. Keep a journal or use an app to log daily progress. Seeing your accomplishments builds momentum and confidence. Finally, embrace imperfection. Accept that progress isn't linear. Some days will be better than others, and that's okay. The key is consistency, not perfection. For example, if you want to write a book, don't wait for inspiration, write 1 sentence a day. Eventually, those sentences become pages, and those pages become chapters. These steps are about creating a life that doesn't depend on motivation to function. It's about building a foundation that supports your goals, regardless of how motivated you feel on any given day. But what about those moments when motivation really does seem to help? Isn't it crucial during those pivotal life changes? Sure, motivation has its moments. It can ignite the spark that gets you started. But remember, it's just that, a spark. It's not the fuel needed to keep the engine running. During life changes, motivation might help you take the first step, but it's the habits and systems that ensure you don't stumble at the second. Think about it like the difference between a match and a furnace. A match can light a fire, but it's the furnace that keeps the house warm through the winter. Relying on motivation is like trying to heat your home with a handful of matches. Sure, they'll light up for a second, but you'll be freezing before long. It's the systems you put in place, your routines, your habits, that provide the lasting warmth. Why does this approach work? Because it's grounded in reality, not fantasy. Habits and systems are reliable, like a well-oiled machine. They don't care about your mood or the weather. They function regardless of your emotional state. It's the difference between creating a life that's reactionary and one that's proactive. By focusing on sustainable actions, you're building a framework that supports your goals in the long run. It's the quiet power of consistency that outshines the noisy bursts of motivation. So, next time you find yourself searching for motivation, remember that it's just a flashy distraction. Instead, start building those habits and systems that don't depend on fleeting feelings. Hit that subscribe button for more uncomfortable truths and deadpan revelations. Share this video with someone who's still waiting for that motivational kick. And remember, consistency is the new motivation. In the end, motivation is just a sugar high. It's fun while it lasts, but it's not a sustainable source of energy. So put down the motivational Kool-Aid and start building a life that doesn't depend on fireworks. After all, doing less is the new productivity.